Well, the step starts here, folks. This is a evening walk in the park again, lake towards Lake Artemisian, and it's a lovely afternoon in College Park. It's cool. It's probably 60 something degrees or 70, and I'm slowly going, taking my time and go through the park, just enjoying the woods and enjoying this whatever sunshine that we have. And it's fall, as I said. Leaves are falling. You can see them on the ground, and nuts are dropping. And um, I've had quite a bit of walking since morning, but I'm just doing this extra so I can accompany my wife so she can go for a good walk. Here we are. Ever so often the trees are dying, so you see how they are just falling, rotting and falling down, and and maybe posing a danger to people. Yeah, posing a danger to people. So I'm gonna just walk to maybe a half block or so to the entrance of the park or by the river, where I can assist her, see if I can see her, and then if anything, she has her phone. Yeah. Wow, it's always a pleasure to have always a pleasure in fall, especially October rolls in, man. And some days you have a warm time, warm temperature, and then it gets cool, but then the fruits are falling and ripen, and it's like a harvest in certain parts of the world. But it's a pleasant time of the year when you see all these things are happening. This time of the year you hardly see the deers. I don't know where they are. They come out late at night. Actually, now it's mating season, so they're getting into heat, the female, and the males are having a ball, just getting away with things. So right now I'm walking with the stick for protection, just just in case I stumble a little bit, so, but I really don't need it as much. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go to this bench and sit. Not even gonna go up to the across the river today, because nobody's sitting on this one, and it's in the shade, and I think I'll be able to enjoy just sitting here and maybe checking the phone. I often said, man, with all this woods, sooner or later you're gonna have maybe the bears coming and living in this forest. And once that happens, well, we might be in danger of being attacked. But if bear crosses into this section of town with all this citizenry, I think the authorities will most likely tranquilize them and then move them out, because they are a danger to people. All right, so here we are. Look at all the expanse of land. Of course, the river is right there. And every so often, believe it or not, we have the this river floods over and floods even onto this road, and you come down here, you think it's the end of the world, you know. It's really bad. About a couple of years ago, we have had a derecho, they call it, and derecho came through and snapped hundreds of these trees along this route, along this path. And when we came down, trees were across the path, intertwined like Dickens, and quite dangerous. Hey, good, all right. The guys are going walking, so sometimes in life, what you just need to do is get into the wild of the wild part of the forest, the wild part of your country, and just beside a river or something like that, and just chill, sit down and relax and listen to nature. Let's look over by the river before people come back. Let's see. It's not flowing like with a fall sound, but it's, you can see, you may think it's dirty, but with the sun shining on the water, you can see right to the bottom of the river. And once in a while you can see fish in the water, but now we don't see anything, no movement. Except on the surface. So the river here, it's about I would say 14 inches deep. I don't think it's more than that, and you can see it's a slow moving thing. But nature is something else. You may think these are edibles, only edible, only maybe later on when the frost comes and the birds, there's something chemically takes place in this. And every time you see berries like this so bright and pretty in the forest, that's an indication that it's poisonous. Not good. So here I go back over and just sit down and meditate and maybe talk to you, come up with a story so I can converse with you. Well, I can talk about, let's talk about Jamaica. For instance, been to Jamaica recently, and I've seen the culture, change in culture. Left Jamaica 44 years ago or 46 years ago, and that's when we had the Manley administration was just about to trying to come into the government to win the election for the second time. But unfortunately or fortunately, he didn't win. Depends on which side you're on. And that was when the people were fleeing the country because they thought Manley was bringing in um, a form of democratic socialism that wasn't favorable to the American society. So I left, my family and I left for, and then I brought up my family. But then a lot of folks left around that time. But recently we went back to Jamaica, like actually about a month or two ago, and this the culture that I experience is somewhat quite different, and it's not even politics. It's a matter of having the kids. They seem to be, especially young boys, they seem to be not as progressive as before, and and the freedom of having marijuana, and then freedom. We've always had the freedom of drinking once you're maybe 18 or 21. So that combination seems to be affecting the young people. And even those who are working, they seem to have uh, a discipline problem. And they seem to be, we seem to kind of can't get things done on a readily basis. Um, if as soon as the workers have to be supervised, seems like 24, round the clock. And as soon as you step off, they seem like they stop working. But it's not that bothers me down there, and it's not even crime. It's a sense that the we have reached a sense where the wealth with is not evenly distributed, and a certain class of Jamaicans seem to be getting richer and richer, and then on the bottom scale, there's another set seem to be struggling, and they're struggling more and more. And even with education makes it a little bit better, and those who are educated and then have common sense on top of that, they tend to do better. But even them, they have to be struggling, because there seems to be an invisible force that prevents innovation. And once you start to have young people being discouraged from progressing, then seems to right at innovation seems to cut cut back at a drastic level. So I noticed that, and although you have a lot of, but then with the resilience of the Jamaican culture, the young guys and young girls are starting up their haberdasheries and their restaurants, and they're cooking, almost cooking. People are just cooking left and right along the streets. You know, they're selling their goods, especially imported goods or clothes and all this and shoes, and but alongside of that, there's elaborate cooking, and everybody has a pot and coal, and they're doing their jerk. So that was kind of interesting to see. Although I know there's people talk about there's an element of that where people say that type of thing is not good to have. But street food is always surprisingly cleaner than some of the restaurants. And if the guys are cooking and the food is readily available and it's coming off the fire or out the pan, out the pot, on a hot basis, a lot of times the bacteria is not there to harm you. So sometimes street food, some people say the dust of the car and all that is cause bacterial effect and all that. But it was wonderful to see the innovation of the cooking with a number of cleaning up the areas and having better equipment. Good, good. Having better equipment, I would think they would have quite a good industry as you drive around the country. And then you have the fruits and vegetable stands are all popping up. So I'm not even thinking that the the there's a setback in the country. I think the country is gearing up for a different stage, a different way of life. Different people are slightly talking different languages, evolving. The interaction of people seems to be different, and and there are quite a bit of progress, as I said, with the food industry. Then you take the building industry. Although I talk about there's a slackness in the timeliness of doing work and thing is there. But if the guys are getting paid um, by piecework or by measurement, I think they will seem to work and and seem to work on a regular base and to keep the jobs done. So housing is just flourishing. A lot of people are coming out of their zinc and zinc and Wackland Darb house. I haven't seen a Wackland Darb house for a long time, but mainly zinc and all that type of and board, and a lot of people are trying to build something with block and steel as much as they do. They're starting their foundation and they then they start their walls, and then they you can see finished houses. A lot of times they live in it. If they can reach a certain part and get the roof on, then they live in it. So that part of I see a lot of progress in the country. So so the, the, the thing I was feeling and think that the country is on a setback, I would really be positive and say it's more of a changing of a gear, changing of the guards. And I'm hoping that with a lot of people, young people in politics, bright people, then they can come up with some solutions in helping the less unfortunate. The government would certainly need to do environmental cleaning and put in more roads, more good roads as they're doing, and then go into the interland and try to improve on the local roads, the parochial roads, and see if that can help. And then also the water resources and distribution. That's one of the biggest problem I see in Jamaica. So, well, no, I forgot I did a tape on the distribution of land and the ability to get your land titled to the property. And that's a big disappointment that I see. And I'm not sure when and how they'll solve it. They may have to um, really get serious and hire a big number of teams of people, train them, and saying that they need to go out and explore and and once the people come into the office in the land val department, then they do a more concerted effort. Even I would strongly suggest that the government needs to establish a surveying department, because it seems like the surveys, I had a hard time getting professional surveys to come out. They seem like they're few and few apart, and they don't care. And it seems like when you ask them to do a job, they they either are overwhelmed or there's a laziness to it, or they don't care. And if your land is in the bushes, that even make it worse. So I would probably say one of the one of the greatest investment that the country can do, the government can do, is to establish, to support young people in the school system to become surveyors, and and even to establish a surveying um, department under the auspices of the government. Yeah. So along with education and the surveying department and in um, and cartographic people, then if we introduce all of that into the country, then I think there should be some improvement there. As the land is there, it needs to be they need to be settled and given into re-established into the harm to the ownership of the correct people, and then let them be innovative in developing their own land. But people are afraid to build on certain lands because they say they don't own it. But then there are some people who are fierce and so forth. They'll come right on your land and cut out a section in the back and build on it and think it belongs to them, and they think so. That's not good. One set is fierce and one set is timid and one set can't get help. Yeah. So the so that's what I'm here. Just come to mind in this place. I'm over here. Cheryl, come to mind to have a bit of talk to you. Every time I come to this park, I am motivated to talk to, to have a conversation. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So people are, while I'm here, people are exercising, and young lady, she walked around certain parts of the park already, and she's back. And so I'm just here to support her. And well, back off of Jamaica, we're talking about why I'm here this week. Although I can't walk, but the support I'm giving is that even in this country, there's an element of surprise on these parks. You may have rapists, you may have killers, you never know, somebody robbers. And so the basic thing is to lend her some support where I can stay at a point where I can see see her.
Can't see.
Yes, and see you. So where do you go?
I went across the bathroom and down that way. I didn't go.
And came back around the back here?
Yeah.
Oh,
and I said, let me just change this up a little bit to go down there.
Are you go we're on there already?
Yeah. But remember, I didn't go this way.
No, but you went across the bridge.
Yeah.
To the bathroom. And then went where around this already?
Mm-hmm.
In
Are you
10 minutes?
Checking? No,
You're not checking the time?
More than 10 minutes.
So I'm here sitting down talking that long? I was just doing a tape on, say, just talk, conversation. So every time I come down to the park. That's quick. Oh, it's a nice evening.
That's good, yeah. Feels so good.
Yeah. Ah, good. Remember people walking their dogs. Remember people walking their dogs and all that. Yeah. So now that the young lady is here, we just I don't know. You sit
You
down
don't
for a
know.
few more minutes
Yeah, and
before we
then
go back up.
go back.
Yeah. Yep. But after I had that little talk in the on the park, and then I came home. You know, I was having a conversation with a brother of mine who lives in Jamaica, and he has a good point. He was saying that regardless of who are in power, we should establish a president that both sides agree to 12, 10, or 12 major developments in the country of Jamaica. Something that would set the foundation and set the country on a progressive path. Something that is not controversial to either side. And some of the suggestions he had were early childhood education, and I agreed to it. I was even saying education up to tertiary level is not a priority on my list. But then he pointed out that early childhood education, and I do agree with that. So both sides, whichever party that we deal with, should really say, let's make early childhood education one of the priorities of the country. And I would certainly add um, the water resources, water and wastewater program, where you have there's ample water in the country. There shouldn't be lacking 5 miles, 10 miles, 15 miles from Kingston, people don't have water. That's not good. You come up with a system where you either pump the water around the island, and we have electricity, so I can't see why we can't have the energy to do that. And then roads. Should be a standard thing that people have, and those are three on my list. And then I would certainly had um, health, basic health for the citizens of the country, and 3 or 4 good hospitals, east, west, north, and south. Set up. You have high standard hospitals. You're not asking for a lot. Just 4 hospitals. The country is small enough that you could zip an hour and a half to the east, hour and a half to the west. You know, if you're in Montego Bay or something like that, have international up to grade hospitals with good emergency centers and good operating centers. You know, improve on that. So those are the 4 of the things that I have on my list. And then would certainly work on agriculture. I would add agriculture to it. Use up all the arid, usable lands, agricultural lands, and whether you want to use fertilizer. I've seen in Africa that I saw the vegetation were green, and I was wondering how comes the vegetation in the farms are so green and lush, almost like United States. Didn't really realize that they were using fertilizer. I have to start to use some fertilizer. I know you're probably using some of that. And my other priority, as I mentioned before, is land settlement. Well, it's land settlement, and so that people can maybe do their subsistence farming or bigger scale farming. So those would be my priorities that both sides could talk about and say these are the foundational things. Well, you have commerce and you have commerce, we're talking about banking, proper banking, because the poor people are not using those ATM machines. Some of those banking system that were introduced to Jamaica is not being used by some ordinary citizens. So they're not banking their money. They're intimidated to come to the bank. So I certainly had that, you know. Yeah. And yes, so health, education, roads, water, you know, and infrastructure, commerce. Yeah. So those are I didn't take the list of my brother from my brother and say we didn't even reach that point, but that was his suggestion. And the other one that I would certainly add to it is find a way to cut down on crime. That has improved, I must say. But work on that. Have good policing, and so that the country, people can feel comfortable in coming back to the country from the ones who are in the diaspora, and come back and can drive into your countryside and sit down with your old friends and have a beer or something like that. Or you're free to go to the beaches and relax instead of feeling intimidated. So I'll add this to the talk, and we'll hopefully see your comments. If you like what I'm saying and think it's some good ideas, then we could probably squeeze some of these ideas to our leaders, and so they get the hint. But if not, we can make comments. You like, share, and make comments to me if you think I should stay out of Jamaica's business. But that's the talk for today. And you'll see where I close off this tape, because I don't want to get too much into politics. It's not politics. I'm talking about life, social aspect of the country. And I reached the age now where I think I have a little more common sense and knowledge to offer my thoughts. Just my thoughts. Well, I won't say, but that's what I have to offer. So see the close of today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for subscribing. But see the close of today. And we'll talk to you on another video from Shippy the Explorer. Him say, you all right? And I say, I'm sick. And then he say, you all right? Then he asks me, I should have taped him. But I'm not sure if I can put him on tape. We're talking about a neighbor who seems to be having some kind of a problem, folks. It doesn't seem to be steady. So every time you come to the park, he runs down and trying to beg you money. Asks you for money.
He acted for some today?
No, but you see, with me stick him, not gonna ask me.
Well.
You see me have money on me. I have walking stick. That's why I tell you I'm sick. No one didn't bother me. And we thought about giving him $1 too, but give him that. What I'm gonna do? He run up to 7-Eleven and
$1 can't do much.
That's my man. He's come to church, you know. Yeah? He looks like him. Oh boy. Never seen them at all. Maybe people look alike.
And him not dress like that.
Hey, he always dress up. Him dress up like him a soldier or something. He's a professor or something.
No, and
He was a
also have
professional guy.
a stick, right?
Uh-huh.
He's blind.
And with his daughter.
Mm.
Maybe they move away. Never know. Yeah. Alright.
It's
Cats
good
are
to
done.
have this bench here. Tapping?
Somebody damaged the
Look.
damage it.
Yeah,
Mm.
like a machete or something
It
hard.
could be the you know what? It could be the tractor
Come
cutting the
this
grass.
close?
Yeah, the tractor could be they could have come because the way it's damaged. I don't think it's somebody strong enough can do that. I think they try to come too
And
close.
this is a good type, you know.
Yeah, they came too close and then they bang here.
Mm.
You can see it better.
Okay,
Here's a
Mr.
good bench.
Calvin Klein.
Uh-oh. All right. Okay, going back now?
Yeah.
Might as well. All right, so let's go. This is a walk today. What the hell I know? Whew.
There you go, hold it, go back.
Huh?
There you go, take it.
Yeah, talk now. Talk about something else. We'll see it tomorrow and then when I'm tape them I turn off them things. Oh.
So you've been going for more than an hour now?
No,
From
20 minutes. Right. Everybody using down there. Dog and baby and cat. And only cats you don't see. Wow, powerful. You can get the key, you can go on. I'll take time come. Yeah, bother you. E-bikes and scooters allowed. Whew, that's new. Let's see. Never know they're allowed. I thought they were trying to ban them. Yeah. Thought they were trying to. Yeah, they were. Oh, so they fought against it. Yeah. But they tend to go too fast though with the scooters. Because I remember the kids, the boy nearly lit down Kingston when they were a baby. Yeah. They ride too fast on the path. Paths should be designated mainly to walkers. You know? Yeah. Good. So because when the path is blocked with some kids and they're rushed through quickly, then you find that good, all right, you find that it's dangerous for the kids. Anyway, we're going back to the main road, and that was a bit of interesting walk on a lovely afternoon in College Park. You can see everybody coming down with their dogs. Series. Okay. Oops. So as the evening draws down to a close, the day draws onto a close, and the sun is saying goodbye to this part of the world, Shippy Explorer is saying bye. I'll just say it's bye for now, And you have a wonderful night, good and a wonderful morning, a good afternoon, depends on where you are. But from my end, it's a good night. And I see you on another tape, another talk. Bye for now.